Welcome to the Grow in Sahuarita podcast, where we talk about all things to growing your business in Sahuarita. Enjoy this episode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Alex Magallanes, Economic Development Specialist for the Town of Sahuarita and the lead for the Grow in Sahuarita program. If this is the first time you're tuning in, I want to welcome you. And I also want to tell you about the Grow in Sahuarita program, which exists to support local entrepreneurs and small businesses at every stage of their journey. From that very first spark of an idea all the way to launching, scaling, and sustaining over time. We provide coaching, resources, connections, and a local network so you don't have to walk this path alone. So I want to take a few minutes today to speak to you, especially those of you who are doing this as a side hustle from home, while juggling full-time work, family, life, and what have you. I want this to be an episode full of encouragement, practical steps, and a reminder of how capable you are, because I believe Sahuarita's future is being built one business at a time. So let's begin. Let's begin with a reality check and a little dose of encouragement. It's going to sound very cliche, but let me just drop it here. You are not alone. In Sahuarita, 73% of our local businesses are home-based, meaning most of us and most of you are trying to grow from living rooms, spare rooms, garages, kitchen tables, what have you. So whether that's you or someone you know, let me tell you something that is powerful. It really means that there's an opportunity, and the opportunity is local. Innovation is local. Growth doesn't have to wait for someone else's permission. So to put that in context, small businesses are the backbone of our economy. In the U.S. alone, there are over 33 million small businesses employing more than 61 million Americans. Let that sink in for a little bit. That accounts for nearly 45% of the private sector workforce. And I got this source from NerdWallet. And while many businesses are solo or have very few employees, collectively, they generate trillions of dollars in economic activity. Since 2020, since the pandemic, business formation has surged. The U.S. is now averaging 430,000 new businesses or new business applications per month nationally. That's about 50% more than pre-pandemic years. So what does all this data tells us, right? And it's not just about dropping numbers just to give you statistics. I believe the numbers are telling us a story. And so what it's telling us is that more people are believing in themselves. They're launching their ideas, and then they're making moves to build their businesses. And perhaps that's the story for you. You started with an idea, maybe something that you've been having in your mind for a long time. Excuse me. And then you finally said, you know what, let me get started. And so for that, I want to congratulate you. I want to say you are powerful. You're a powerful person for doing that. And again, you are not alone. So whether you're doing your side hustle, your business on a part-time basis, and you're doing it from home, there are limited time and resources. We know that. So here are a few challenges that I want to bring to the table, and feel free to listen to them and take what is good. If it doesn't help you, then you can discard it. But if it helps, I hope this just helps at least as an encouragement to you, especially those who are listening that are home-based businesses. And so again, more than anything, I want to encourage you. So here are 4 challenges to you. Challenge number 1, move the needle every day. So what does that mean? One principle I want you to lean into is the consistency trumps intensity. Right? Oftentimes we hear other sources of information, whether it's another podcast. And I love Gary Vee. If you have heard Gary Vee in his podcast, he's very intense, right? It's all about intensity. But sometimes just that doesn't work, right? We shouldn't equal entrepreneurship with intensity. I think, and I would even speak for Gary. I believe that that entrepreneurship is about consistency, not so much intensity, but consistency and intentionality. So you don't have to devote hours every day, though sometimes you will. You will have to devote hours to your business, but not every day, because especially if you're juggling family, a full-time job, and all of the above. But here's the kick. When you commit to moving the needle daily, even if it's by 10 or 15 minutes, it can really shift momentum. So what does moving the needle look like, or what does it mean? So here are a few ideas. Post a piece of content on social media, even if it's just a photo or a quote. Respond to a comment or message you've been putting off. Make that follow-up call to someone who has expressed interest in your products or services. It really takes 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe you use those 10 or 15 minutes to outline your next service offering or product. Maybe you use that time to do a little bit of research on one tool or an application that may help you streamline your workflow for your business. Or maybe you schedule that meeting, that important meeting that has been in the back of your mind, or that Zoom call for that prospective client or partner. The point I'm trying to make is that over a week, those small actions compound into movement. And then over a month, they turn into milestones. And over a year, you look back and see how much you've built. So I'll share a quick anecdote or hypothetical. Imagine you're spending 50 minutes every day, 5 days a week, on lead follow-ups. That would be nearly 24 follow-ups touches in a week. That could really make the difference between a sale or not making a sale. So again, the real engine behind moving the needle, right, or behind growing your business is daily consistency. Challenge number 2, be document ready for opportunities. This is something that I see often here happening in Sahuarita. Again, as a business coach and the lead for the Grow in Sahuarita program, I get a lot of phone calls. I meet with a lot of you, whether in person or virtually. And one of the questions I get all the time is, hey, I want to become a vendor for a town event. However, there are some preparations, right, paperwork-wise that needs to be done before you become a vendor. So, and this is, I want to assume, and I think it's a healthy assumption, that it's going to be the same for any other municipality. So one thing is, sometimes in entrepreneurs, we are ready to launch our product, right? We are ready to sell our product, but then get turned away from good opportunities or vendor opportunities because we're just not document ready. So what does that mean? So if you plan to sell products at town events, farmers markets, festivals, pop-up events, here or in any other municipality, here are some crucial things to have in order. Number 1, your TPT license. That is the Transaction Privilege Tax License. That's the Arizona's version of a sales tax license. Cottage food license. If you prepare food from home, you need to get this license via Pima County. Any food safety, health, or permit requirements. Number 4, business registrations. They're needed. Whether you're in Sahuarita, you're in Tucson, you need those business registrations. Product liability insurance where applicable. That's not always needed, but it's strongly recommended. A good product list with pricing, packaging, and presentation. So these steps may feel bureaucratic, maybe tedious, but honestly, they do unlock doors. They allow you to stay on a yes movement of opportunities, whether they come spontaneously or something that you've been preparing for. And that way you're not scrambling last minute, try to get those documents ready in order to participate in a specific event. And this is the best part. You don't have to figure it all out by yourself. Reach out to us. Reach out to the Town of Sahuarita at grow@sahuaritaaz.gov. Again, that is the email is grow@sahuaritaaz.gov. And we're here to help you navigate all the licensing, all the paperwork, and obviously give you best practices. All right, moving on. Challenge number 3, embrace tools, platforms, and automation. You don't have to do everything manually nowadays. In fact, you probably can't, especially if you're juggling family, work, and all of the other things, right? That's why using new platforms, tools, or automation is not optional. It's definitely essential in with today's technology. So here are some ways you might use tech to free up that time or a little bit of time, or perhaps help you become more efficient when working on your business. So point number 1, automation software. So there's tons of software out there. Some of them have free trials, some of them have a free version, and then some of them you have to pay, but really the charge is not that much. So there's automation software for email follow-ups, social media posting, and to name a few. Obviously, we're not selling anything. We're just naming a few, and we're not sponsored by any of these. You can use things like Hootsuite, Buffer, Zapier. Platforms like that really help you automate your tasks, especially for email and social media. And so that frees up your time, especially when you try to juggle many things at the same time. Number 2, AI-assisted content generation. So think of prompts to draft your social captions, your blog posts, newsletters. So AI, it's becoming just part of our lives. Actually, I want to say that it's been part of our lives for a while. AI has been there, since the 1990s. We just didn't call it AI, but it's been there. And so remember, these are tools. I think there's some voices out there that are saying that AI will eventually take over the world. I don't necessarily am of the same opinion. I think AI is a tool, and if we use it and steward it wisely, it can really be a game changer, especially for entrepreneurs. Number 3, have a customer relationship management tool or a CRM system. So CRM, it's a platform that will allow you to create your customer database, right, where you can capture names, emails, phone numbers, addresses, if that's what you need. You can track leads, you can do follow-ups, set up tasks, and really just keep up with a client history, placing notes and what have you. Let's see. Number 4, project or task management apps like Trello, Asana, Todoist. There's so many out there. Again, many of these have a free version that you can use for so many days. Give it a try and see if it helps. And then, of course, e-commerce platforms. That especially there's something that I guess, for the lack of a better word, I preach a lot, if you will, to entrepreneurs about e-commerce platforms. If you're selling products and you are doing this from home, I highly encourage you to have an e-commerce website, an e-commerce platform. So there are many platforms out there. You name it. You can start something simple with Wix, Shopify, Etsy. There's so many out there. Again, none of these are sponsors yet. Just kidding. We're not selling anything. We're just giving you ideas. And then, of course, there's chatbots that can be that can help you reduce repetitive customer tasks. That's a little bit more advanced. The point is that embracing tools and platforms for automation, it's really going to kind of continue moving that needle that I was talking about earlier. And so why not, right? Why not have those extra tools that can help you with your daily tasks for your business? In fact, our recent research paper I read argues that AI is no longer a futuristic concept reserved for large companies. It's already helping small and medium enterprises by improving efficiency and reducing costs. And so some studies also suggest that up to 30% of savings in personal tasks or operational tasks have been happening since small businesses or small and medium enterprises have been embracing these tools. So don't let technology intimidate you. Start with one tool, one process you want to streamline, and then test it, right? That's why I mentioned many of these platforms have a free version or a trial, 7 days, what have you. And so test the thing, see if you can streamline some tasks, and if it's something that you like and that you can keep, right? Then you can make a decision from there. So if it's going to save you time and mental energy, I would definitely double down on embracing technology. Challenge number 4 for you is I want to encourage you to think strategically and then monitor your growth. Because if you only ever react, right? If you're always just on the reactive mode, then you will definitely fall behind on your business. So what does that mean? Instead of being reactive, as entrepreneurs, we need to be proactive. So we start planning ahead, whether it's a networking activity, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a social media campaign, an email campaign, you start working on a proactive basis versus being reactive. As you move consistently and adopt tools and you begin to track metrics, even simple ones, some of these metrics that you can start tracking just to get started, and that way you can be more proactive versus reactive. You can start tracking number of leads, right, that you reached out to during any given week, maybe a conversion rate, how many contacts became your customers. You can start tracking, obviously, revenue per month or per sale, tracking expenses, costs, time spent on a specific task or project. And so those are some of the things that you can start monitoring on your business so that you can think strategically and be proactive versus reactive. So when you do tasks like this, it will allow you to evaluate what's working, what's not working, and then you can pivot when needed, learning from what doesn't work or what is not as important, and then you can definitely celebrate what does work. That's a huge piece of entrepreneurship. Take the time to celebrate your wins, even if they're small. But again, remember, the first point that I gave you, moving the needle, when you celebrate those small wins, eventually you're going to win on the whole game. Also, cast your vision on a little beyond the day-to-day. Think about where Sahuarita might be in the next 5 to 10 years. And as you can see, we continue to grow. Obviously, here at the town, we continue to work on how to diversify our economy so there will be more opportunities. We're going to continue to grow. So as Sahuarita grows, right, in the next 5 to 10 years, envision how also at the same time, how do you envision your business growing alongside the town of Sahuarita? Our town is currently seeking to attract new businesses and expand our economic base. Actually, in our economic development plan, and you can find it online on our website, sahuaritaaz.gov, the plan lays out a vision around people, prosperity, and place, including opportunities that are tied up to our location near Tucson. There's potential in advanced manufacturing and growth for local economies. So again, as Sahuarita grows, your business can grow. So consider how to plug into that bigger community level strategy. So here's my invitation to you. Let us serve you better. I want to hear what are your needs. I want you to reach out to me, and I want to hear what are the needs for your business. And this is my invitation to you so that you can reach out and share your challenges with us. What is your biggest roadblock right now? What's keeping you up at night when it comes to your business? What resource could really make a difference? Is it an operations side? Is it the marketing side, licensing, technology, access to capital? So if you let us know, we can build workshops. We can, build guides, connections that are specifically tailored to you. So email us at grow@sahuaritaaz.gov to reach out and let us know what are those challenges you're currently facing. Once again, the Grow in Sahuarita program is here not to lecture you. We're really here to walk with you. So to wrap this up, once again, let me remind you, you are not alone. Many in Sahuarita are doing exactly what you're doing. They have a work-life balance, and they're starting a business on the side. If you're starting small, just keep those consistent steps to move the needle. Capture opportunities by being prepared with any paperwork and licensing ahead of the opportunity. And then leverage technology, tools, automation to free up a little bit of your time, which eventually it will build momentum. And then think strategically, think proactively, not reactively. And lastly, reach out to us. We want to hear your needs and build around them. So thank you so much for being a part of something that it's bigger than all of us. And every time you take a step to contribute to your business, it's not only to your business, but really you're contributing to the economy of Sahuarita. So keep going, move the needle, and remember, we are here for you.